Bum, 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 bum. Welcome back to Torah, Health and Fitness, Easy Health and Fitness. Purim is around the corner, and everyone is starting to think about those Mishloach Manos. What am I going to give to my friends this year in terms of food packages? And I have a question for you. Are you allowed, are you permitted by the Torah to give somebody a Mishloach Manos that is unhealthy? And we can define unhealthy in a minute, but I'm just asking you a broad question. Is that allowed? I think that you can make a case that that's not allowed, that you know to be unhealthy. And I'll give you a very simple example of it, a very extreme example actually. Someone who you know to be diabetic, and you know that giving him this sugary food would be harmful to him to eat it, then you're not allowed to give it to him. It has to be food that's fit to be served at his table. And that's not fit to be served at this person's table, right? Or an alcoholic, you're not going to give him a bottle of wine. I hope you're not. Besides not fulfilling the mitzvah of Mishloach Manos, you probably are not even Yotzi, in my opinion. But also, you are putting a mikshel, a stumbling block in front of somebody, and that is even worse. You've made it worse. Not only have you not fulfilled Mishloach Manos, you have done an Aveira. Now, the Code of Jewish Law, aka the Shulchan Aruch, states this following, towards the end of Choshen Mishpat, that there's another Aveira, not the same as mikshel, as a stumbling block. Al samod al dam re'echa. Don't stand by or over your brother's blood, from Vayikra, from Leviticus. So the Shulchan Aruch gives examples of what this means in practice. He gives an example of somebody who's drowning, or someone who is being attacked by robbers or a wild animal. If the onlooker has the ability either to save him directly or to find others who can save him and does not do so, or to dissuade the robbers or somehow stop them, or warn his friend that these people are coming, and fails to do so, he has done an Aveira. He's over on this prohibition of al samod al dam re'echa. Don't stand by your brother's blood. So where does food come into this? Look at the Rambam in Hilchos Deos, the beginning of the fourth parak. The Rambam says, not the very beginning, but in the fourth parak, he says that overeating is, quote, like poison to the body, the main cause of illness. So putting poison in the body, I think we could agree, is dangerous. It can harm a person over the long term, shorten their life. And Rambam says overeating is like that. It is the main cause of illness. Now, people respond to that often by saying, well, if I give Ruvain food that is tempting to him and he overeats it, that's not on me, that's on him. Right? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Ruvain has to control himself. That's not on the giver. Right? It's a fair point people make. There's a little bit of a problem here, though, when it comes to the mitzvah al samod al dam re'echa. There's something I'd like you to consider, that I'm not so sure that today, in today's culture that we live in, that principle of everybody should exercise self-control really applies anymore. I think many people, and the doctors say that many people who suffer from obesity are victims of forces beyond their control. And therefore, they may be actually in a makam sakana. They may be considered in a place of danger. I mean, think about it. If today's packaged foods were presented to us as an equally attractive alternative to natural, wholesome foods, then maybe it would be a fair fight. But it's not that way. We have, more abundance of food than ever before. We have new forms of processing that food to make it more seductive, more addictive, and packaging it to make it look enticing. And all this clever marketing and this clever packaging and so on, I think has handicapped our ability to make a free will choice in the way we should be able to, including just an informed choice. It's not like people are making an informed choice between water and soda. Yeah, if you put on the table water and soda, maybe, but that's very often. I will go to a kiddush or a simcha or a suda, and there's soda right in front of some people and water way down there at the other end of the table. So the food that's available within arm's reach is the dangerous one. I mean, arguably it shouldn't be on the table at all, but if you're going to put it on the table, at least make it equally available to everybody, the healthy food, the healthy choice. You know, how often are we served, offered white bread, but with whole wheat bread next to it? Or chips and dip and have vegetables, raw vegetables right next to it. Some people are doing this. I'm happy to see, but often it's not happening. And that same thing goes true for moderation overeating. It's just too easy to fall into that habit of overeating that we've been trained to do as a child. So I would suggest to you that at the very least, that in order to make sure that you're not over on al samod al dam re'echa, and not over on putting a mikshol, of a stumbling block before the blind, that you seriously consider how your mishloach manos will be received by this individual. If you make a blanket, a standard mishloach manos, like a factory, make the same one for everybody, it could be that some of those recipients, for them, it is harmful, and it is a danger you're putting them in, and then you may not even be yotzi the mitzvah of mishloach manos. May we all fulfill that mitzvah and avoid all the averas and have a Freichen Purim and come together in health and holiness. And until next time, be gesund.